This one thing seems like the smallest, most insignificant detail, but means the difference between scaling your e-commerce business to multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, and even 8 figures per year. And it's something that I'm going to talk about in depth today because of how important it actually is, but also to reiterate how forgotten or underutilized it actually is as well. Okay. Now, this is off the back of myself starting an e-commerce business in 2013, my brother that's still existing today. It does multiple 7 figures. And I've now helped over a couple of hundred brands with their businesses grow them to their first 10K, 20K a month and beyond as well through my up-level mastermind and Ecom Blueprint paid programs. And so the thing I'm talking about today is tracking. Now, bear with me, okay, because I know that we know tracking, we should be tracking, I do tracking. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I want to go into the absolute detail of tracking that is crucial to get you to the levels that you actually want to get to. Now, the chances are, if you're doing less than $20,000 per month with your e-commerce business, that you're not tracking the way that you should be or as diligently as you should be, okay? So I'm just going to go through how we actually teach our students in our Ecom Blueprint program to track, and you can hopefully adopt it to your circumstance as well. So we use something that's literally a daily tracking sheet, nothing fancy, and we use a Google Sheet, all right? It's literally just an Excel document that we can have everything housed in one. Now, the purpose there is that there's no bells and whistles, there's no distractions through apps and other programs, there's nowhere to get lost, okay? So it's very straightforward, very, very simple. Now, what we have on this tracking sheet is something that I call the cause and the effect. Now, the cause is actually what we call our leading metrics, like our inputs mean what we did that day, and our lagging metrics or our effect are the actual results that we achieved that day. So this exercise is done every single day at the same time, and it records the actions and results that we did the previous day. Okay, now this is the first part. It needs to be done every single day. Whilst people think, not much happens in a day, or I'm doing less than 5K a month and I don't do much every single day, I can just kind of remember. That's the kind of little slips that I'm talking about that people fall into that detrimentally impact on their results because they don't think that this thing contributes to their poor results when it does. Let me kind of explain a couple of angles there. If you want to lose weight, all right, the best thing that you can do, especially in the beginning, is to literally weigh yourself daily. That's it. If you did nothing else, I guarantee you would lose weight. And this is how it works. If you're jumping on those scales every single morning, you're not losing weight, you're either maintaining the same weight or you're even increasing in weight, what do you think is actually going to happen, right? You're outside of that weigh-in every single morning. Your mind is going to shift during the day, during the night, to look for opportunities to make sure that is not the same result the next morning. So in the morning, you're going to eat some fruit rather than that sugary cereal or pancakes. You're going to take the stairs instead of the escalator, right? You're going to get the salad for lunch rather than the meat pie. You're going to get the salad versus something else that's unhealthy. You're not going to get that dessert. You're not going to drink that third or fourth beer that night, right? You're going to drink some soda water in between or something like that. But the point being is that the thing that you're measuring, you have eyes on that scoreboard. And therefore, outside of measuring or tracking, you are able to control what that looks like consciously and subconsciously. And so it works the same in business. If you want to improve your business, start tracking every single metric, every single detail until you figure out what's important and what's not. You can have baselines, you can have trends, but it must be done consistently. It must be done daily. Even if the numbers are 0, 0, 0, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to look outside of that tracking sheet, in the time that you're spending in your business and say, how on earth can I make it not be a 0 tomorrow? What do I got to do? How can I do this? And you'll start to get almost upset with yourself. And I can say this from personal experience. You will get motivated to find an answer. You will start to take action, ruthless action. You will not fear being rejected, not fear sending the email, not fear doing the post, because tomorrow it's worse to put a 0 on that page again. Okay, so I just really want you to understand how much of a mental game this is and how this one little thing that most people, unsuccessful people, neglect can lead to success, right? So in that tracking sheet, as I said, we talk about the cause, we talk about our actions. You can control your actions. You can control your leading metrics, your inputs. That other stuff, the output, okay, the lagging, that's going to be built over time. It might not have immediate effect. You might send an email. Okay, now I didn't get any results from that. Right. Okay, why is that the case? I sent the email. Okay, I don't have enough people in my database. Okay, cool. Now we need to actually go and build the database. I launched this ad. Cool. Give it 2, 3, 4 days, see what happens. Okay, no results. Great. Okay, now let's look at the ads. Whereas if you send the email, you never think about it, nothing happened, doesn't work. You launch the ad, oh no, I'm wasting money, turn it off, quick, something else. There's no reason for doing that apart from gut and emotion. Whereas if you're looking at a scoreboard, you're looking at a tracking sheet based on data where numbers do not lie, you can actually start to diagnose the issues and fix the issues. Okay? So we have everything on this tracking sheet that we use in EB. We have how much we spent on ads, Meta, Google, other, right? How many emails were sent, how many social posts were sent, how much time was spent on social media doing this Instagram hustle, how many influencers are posted, and anything else applicable, how many articles we got published in, whatever it might be, right? What promotion we did. We track everything. We track the website changes. We change this pop-up. We change this landing page. We document absolutely everything. So the next day we can go in and have a look at, okay, what was that effect? What was that effect today? What was that effect over 5 days, 7 days, 30 days? We do this every single day, and we have track record of every single month, right? And what does that do? It creates breadcrumbs of what worked. We can look back 12 months ago and see this worked, this worked, this worked. That was a cause and effect. Oh, that didn't have much impact here, but then it kicked in month 2, for example. I started spending more, I started spending less, or whatever it might be. You can start to see between the lines where you need to optimize, change, iterate, keep going, cut, etc. It's a decision-making tool. And so I started talking about this at the beginning of this conversation, how, let's call it insignificant it might seem, but how significant it actually is for you achieving what you want to achieve. Because the people that aren't succeeding, that come into my program, that's exactly why they come in, to obviously succeed. That's the first thing we get them to do. Just start tracking, knowing your numbers, knowing your baselines, reel this off, reel that off, and you get sharp. You get sharper, 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 and you can then go and change things as needed and monitor the cause and effect. And it's just conditioning. Okay, so if you're not doing it, I suggest you obviously do it. Just get up to speed, get familiar, start to get your baselines and understanding. If you are doing it, maybe there's some better things that you can do, track a little bit more detail. You can't be too detailed, honestly. And then use that information to see how we can obviously improve every aspect of our business. But the fundamental thing is we need to know what the scoreboard says. We have our goals up here, but we need to know how we're actually getting there, right? So again, you can look at simple things like your ad spend. Is that going to get me to my 10K, 20K per month? With that amount of emails, I sent one last month. Okay, now I'm exposed. Okay, and this is again how we review with clients in our program. Like we look at their tracking sheet. If they have an issue or challenge, the first thing we say, show us your tracking sheet. Great. Now I can see this. Now I can see that. Now I can see that. You don't have to tell me anything, because honestly, we often think higher of performance than what we're actually showing. Okay, sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes we're a bit conservative, but the numbers don't lie. It tells the truth, right? You only sent 1 email, 2 emails, 3 emails last month. What happened? Okay, you only did an hour on Instagram this week. What happened? Oh, just this. Okay, cool. Well, that's objectively where you need to move and improve. Okay, so this is fundamental. It's the first thing that we do. Track. All right. So I just want to really emphasize this, because as I say, right in the beginning of this is the difference between multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, and 8 figures versus less than 6 figures, per year with your e-commerce business. It is night and day. So I promise you, if you're not doing it, do it. If you're doing it a little bit, improve it. If you're doing it, great. You should be using it and being able to manage and optimize your business based on it. Okay. So look, I hope this was valuable. If it was, I love a like, love a subscribe. Thanks so much for watching to this point. If you want to know more about what we do and how we help brands in other ways, you can click on the link below, check it out. But other than that, thanks for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.